Hello, guys, and welcome back to Figuring Out Friday, presented to you by Mike and Michael and Healing Your Way. So, today we'll be talking about cortisol and we'll try to explain it because it's pretty like a trendy topic, I guess, on social media, and most people don't have an like a understanding of it, and some people might even understand it wrong and take wrong actions which might harm their body. So today we'll try to explain it, what cortisol is, what good part it has, what bad part it has, and if it's dangerous or not. And hope you guys will learn a thing or two. Michael, how you feeling today?
Not too bad. Cortisol is it's a little iffy, but
Hmm.
not too bad. We can pull up the slides. All right, guys. So here's cortisol, and cortisol explained the good, the bad, the dangerous. And at the bottom left, you can see the chemical makeup of cortisol. And cortisol, it's usually often labeled as your stress hormone, and it's a little like what Mike said, it's a little misleading since it sounds like cortisol is something bad when in reality cortisol is one of the most important hormones in your body since it's produced by your adrenal glands, and you can see that at the bottom right, the gland right there, it's secreted by it, and it plays a huge role in keeping you alive and basically functioning day to day by regulating your blood sugar, energy, and also your metabolism, also your sleep cycle or your circadian rhythm. And
Yeah,
for
I can.
example, yeah,
No, oh, I was gonna say, I was gonna add some things, but if you have something to say, you can say.
oh, you can go ahead.
Oh, so so basically, like today people when they mention cortisol, the first thing that pops into mind is stress, and obviously, like stress is like main, let's say, like main reason why cortisol might be elevated. But thing is, you can kind of change your life and adapt to lifestyle that can reduce stress. I know we live in a world today where people,
Mhm.
have bills to pay, like exams coming up, and all that, and all of it can cause stress because our body, like automatic nervous system, like it cannot tell the difference between, let's say, a lion chasing you down and you just stressing over the exam. So that's what happens. Like adrenal fatigue might be caused, but if you have like high cortisol levels, which might impact your central nervous system, obviously, then it some people also tie cortisol to insulin resistance, also weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and some people also might see like muscle wasting, muscle loss. So that's like main effects that people know and like have connection with cortisol. But we'll we'll go deep and explain it to more so you can have more understanding about the topic.
Yeah. Uh, I also agree with that because I've seen somewhere online somebody was saying how today's day and age, people may think this generation is like we have it a little bit easier, but it's like complete opposite. Not to throw shots at the older folks out there,
Hmm.
but there is a lot of more everyday lifestyle changes that did not previously exist in past generations. So that's why you see more people that are stressed out, again, all these problems popping up just stemming just from this cortisol, and of course there are other factors, but cortisol itself is a crazy main factor. And one thing for people to understand is, again, there's good cortisol and bad cortisol, and it usually comes down to acute versus chronic stress. And the difference is acute stress. It's more short term and it's beneficial because that's your central nervous system in that fight or flight moment or response. So if something happens, like you're about to give a presentation, or you have to react quickly to, let's say, like a dangerous situation, then your body is able to release the cortisol to help you respond and giving you immediate energy, um, so that you're able to survive whatever you're facing. But once that situation is over, cortisol levels should come back down, and that's how the system should work. And then with chronic, it works completely different because that's when your body is constantly stressed all day long. So again, whether it's work, sleep, poor recovery, and so on. So even though you're not in danger, your body still activates that same stress response, and it happens over and over again without that switch being turned to turn it off. And when it's elevated all the time, that's when it starts causing damage. So just the audience out there, you just imagine checking your emails all day, worrying about deadlines, and not sleeping enough. And you might even have to drink caffeine to stay awake or get through the day. So repeating that cycle every day is very dangerous.
And it also messes up your circadian rhythm,
Yes, exactly.
which is tied to cortisol.
Yeah. And yeah, and with that circadian rhythm, obviously, cortisol is not the only effect, but there's also stuff like sleep quality, habits, and again, stress matters, but cortisol is a main part when it comes to your circadian rhythm, that 24-hour cycle. So it helps to explain why your body might feel like it's on schedule on some days or completely off on different days. And me myself, I do have trouble falling asleep at night, and it's partly because my sleep schedule is messed up, and I might have to hit the snooze button like 4 to 5 times before I actually start waking up, compared to other people who might naturally wake up at an early hour and they feel fine, and not need like caffeine or energy drinks to get through the day. So uh, again, it follows that circadian rhythm. And the important thing about your circadian rhythm is it peaks 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up in the morning to help you be alert and just get up in general.
Yup.
And one question I had was, what's something that might stress you out? Maybe if it's only for like a moment, and what's something that stresses you out like daily or every single day?
Stressing me out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely have those moments like when I'm driving
Hmm.
because I cannot comprehend how someone can actually be this type of bad driver, you know?
Hmm.
Like bad drivers on the road. It's
Yeah.
just my road rage is just grows and grows inside of me, but I always try to keep my cortisol levels down so I don't explode. I know how to maintain myself.
I would.
Sometimes I might
I just
have
want
that
to throw
outburst.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a chronic one for you. I was gonna say that's like a short term one for me. Maybe just like merging or going in the right exit, or else
Mm,
go add extra 20 minutes to your
mm.
destination. So like that short spike helps me. So I was probably thinking it might not be the same for you. So it's the opposite, I guess.
And I mean, chronic would be more like a deadlines, the assignment deadlines that we
Yeah.
have. And I mean, when you're in college, you're taking like five, four classes, maybe even six, depends on what year you are. And also difficulty of classes matters, but if you're taking like hard major, then you're obviously taking hard class. So most of the time, like you have to keep up with all those material and basically throughout the whole semester you're just stressed out about deadlines and exams.
Yeah. Like almost similar for me with
Yeah.
that. And just again, dealing with that workload. And then I might have to go out to socialize, or I don't know, maybe extra time to myself
Hmm.
just to go back down to a normal level, just so I don't feel like it's like constant work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a
But
great thing
again,
to do.
yeah, and again, that stress is still useful. Wanting your body to be alert at certain times. Like, do you have an example for like a short term stress? Maybe even like going down the stairs.
Um,
Some people they're like worried they're gonna like miss a step and then
yeah, I mean, short term also can be out of the example that pops in mind, like passing a small baby to someone.
yeah, yeah.
Like that can be short stress, or maybe even stressing out about not dropping something. You
Mhm.
know, anything can be short, like short stress. That I mean,
Yeah,
it also depends on people because this stress is like dependent on and how you react to situation, how developed your frontal lobe is, and how good of a function it has. Like because some people are actually able to manage that stress and like keep their stress levels like low no matter what the situation is, but some people might just start having panic attack and start freaking out or even on small things, and that's actually really bad, and even hanging around with those type of people might actually raise your cortisol up.
yeah. And with the stress system, your fight flight, it's more like a evolution because again, you're not being chased by like a wild
Yeah.
animal, but a lot of people uh they aren't chased by anything like physically dangerous, but again, you can wake up like already mentally drained or like you feel like you're behind already. You can check your phone, see
Mm-hmm.
messages of things that are going on, like what you need reply to, uh, just thinking ahead in the future. So stuff they forget to do yesterday, and it shows up today. And surveys show that, you know, just a generic number of 70 to 80% of adults feel like they're stressed out every day. I have a feeling like the number should be higher just because of the everyday stressors, but uh
Yeah.
again, your body starts the day in a stress state before anything major has, even happened.
Hmm.
So that's like a big indicator. And
Yeah.
then,
And
yeah, we can go to the next slide. Do you have anything to add before?
no, I was just gonna say it's about like a lifestyle that we live in today's
Yeah,
world. Like you cannot escape that
yeah,
unless you retire and go on some island or
actually
somewhere
no.
chill. Chill, chill.
Uh, so right here on the left is it's a stress response pathway. It's a simple pathway. You might learn this in anatomy, and basically behind the scene, the whole process controlled by HPA axis, which stands for your hypothalamus, pituitary, and your adrenal gland. And it starts up in your brain at the hypothalamus where the brain perceives a stress. The hypothalamus sends a signal to your pituitary gland. And at the pituitary gland, it sends another signal to your adrenal, which finally releases cortisol into your bloodstream. So it's like a step by step process, chain reaction. And uh, just like in anatomy, they teach you that these hormonal secretions are meant to be there's a positive and feedback loop. So with the negative feedback, it's supposed to eventually turn off that chain reaction. But again, in modern life, that off switch doesn't get used often as it should, and sounds technical. But what it really means is like your stress is not just in your head, and your brain actually senses something, so your whole body gets involved. The hormone gets released, again, changing your blood sugar, changing your energy, and even affecting your sleep and your appetite can change too. So, a
Yep.
couple of factors.
Um, can I go over just I will just explain central nervous system,
Yeah,
simple way. So I guess everyone heard of central nervous system. It just contains your brain. Uh, it just contains brain, spine, and just nervous system as a whole. So you have this automatic nervous system. Uh, oh, we have a questions in the chat. So should I? Should I keep that questions later on? Should I read now? What
Uh, up,
you think?
up to you. You can answer after your explanation if you want to.
Okay, yeah. We'll get back to the questions. I would just explain central nervous system real quick. So we back at it. So we have this autonomous nervous system, which contains sympathetic and parasympathetic uh like a nervous system also. So sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight, as Michael mentioned already, and which during which like let's say you have a stress and you have to react in order, and it's part of the evolution. You have to react to it to survive, and due to evolution, like your body cannot tell difference, like we mentioned, like being chased by a tiger or your deadline is coming up. And what sympathetic nervous system does, it imagine if you have to react to something, your heart rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up, your cortisol level will go up, tension increases in body, and LDL increases. LDL is like low density lipoproteins, which is known as like bad cholesterol. And I mean, it goes to the cells, but if you have a high amount of it in your bloodstreams, then it can kind of get stuck to your arteries and stuff. So that's how you have
Mhm.
cholesterol buildup. And on the other hand, you have parasympathetic nervous system, which is like your relaxed state. You don't have to worry about it. And these are things that you cannot control, by the way. This is like automatic nervous system. So parasympathetic, your digestion, your immune system, like your reproduction system, heal your how your body heals. And what happens is, like I mentioned, like frontal lobe controls whether or not this like how stressed you have to be about the situation. So when your body receives a signal that you are stressed, like your frontal lobe gets activated, and then it shuts off, like it has a chain reaction. So it just imagine your sympathetic nervous system gets activated, and then sympathetic nervous system just shuts off your parasympathetic nervous system, which means like it doesn't care about digestion or your immunity or healing. It shuts off everything because you have to make out of the situation. You have to run. So your heart rate increases, your blood pressure increases, your energy use increases, your cortisol goes up. You have to get out the system. So when you have this chronic stress lifestyle, and you might not even realize it. I mean, after some period of time, you will start realizing because your body will take the fact of it. But what happens is when you're under this chronic stress, your body cannot relax. Like it's always in fight or flight mode, and basically this holds you back to heal. That's what's happening. That's why cortisol goes up, and a lot of people like take these meds to bring cortisol down and try to fight it, but it's not about fighting it back. It's just you have to regulate it. You know how you have to learn how to balance it, how to regulate it, and how to use it in your advantage. Like you can see on the right side we have like a waking up time and sleeping time. And like when you wake up, your cortisol level automatically just goes up. Some people drink coffee, that causes cortisol level to go up. Your exercise, light exercise, even strong exercise, cortisol level goes up. But the point is, w- without it, like you won't be able to wake up. Like when you wake up, cortisol level starts to elevate, and you have to regulate so it goes down throughout the day. And that's how you achieve that like a balanced state and balanced lifestyle. If you are able to bring it down once you wake up, so when you wake up, that's why going sun gazing, like when you go out sun gaze, like you telling your body it's time to wake up, so your cortisol levels go up, elevate with that. And after that, once you ground and all that, your cortisol level starts to go down. And depending on your lifestyle, it might continue going down or it might stay high. If it goes down, then you will be able to like sleep because after it goes down, your melatonin starts to produce, which
Mhm.
helps you with sleep. But if it never goes down, that's why your sleep schedule is always like interrupted or you can't sleep, then you feel groggy the next day, and then all these problems starts to build up. So you just have to learn how to balance it.
And again, very important to sun gaze in that 30 to 45 minutes right after waking up. Preferably, you wake up, in the morning where the sun is out, just so it affects all the mood, energy, and all that
Yeah.
Mike just said.
And best time is when UV is like at the low, so around 7 and before 10 o'clock during spring summertime.
Yeah.
So back to the questions. Can you use music to manage cortisol levels like when you're driving? And what are some signs that I may have cortisol imbalance? I guess it it depends on the individual, like I mentioned, because everyone's brain is
Mhm.
programmed differently. You can obviously use music if it makes you happy. That's that's a great way to use music because once you're happy, you kind of interrupting that stress pattern. So your cortisol level will go down and you will see like a, yes, what's the word? I don't want to say progress, but
Balance.
like you will see the benefit of it. Like
Okay.
whatever makes you happy, you will see the benefit of it. And then what are the signs? Like signs might be, again, your blood pressure might be high, blood glucose might be high because cortisol is always like trying to, if it's up, that means it's sending signals to your body that it needs more energy, and it will always just take take up that glucose, and you'll have that glucose in your system, which might cause diabetes. So that might be imbalanced if your sleep schedule is like bad, and most of the time it's interrupted. You can't go to sleep and you can't wake up. Your That means your circadian rhythm is also imbalanced. So everything at the end of the day, everything just connects. Like we have all these things in our body because it's how we are supposed to be. Like you cannot just take something out of it and just go against it and start fighting it. You
Yeah,
know?
and like even for me, jumping straight out of internship today, I was already like stressed out, and one thing I noticed I've been doing is immediately turning up the music in the car as soon as I start my drive back,
Hmm.
and that just like lowers all the cortisol, and I don't feel like talking to nobody at the time. But again, listening to music, and I think even culturally, you can see different cultures or places. The whole population seems to be
Yeah.
happier. Kind of has to do with like quality of life. If
Yep.
they have like good music, I feel like that's for sure an important factor. Again, regionally, but
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you can see that outside of United States. I'm not gonna lie. Like other
yeah,
cultures, they're like, yeah, bringing guests over, celebrating even small things, like having music going on. And in America, you put on music outside, and some motherfucker just starts yelling across the street, "Yo, turn it down! Yo, turn it down!" Everyone just stressed out,
yeah, yeah,
and that low energy just spreads out, and
yeah. It just
like
takes
you
one
kind of,
person out of
yeah,
the whole group.
and you kind of get dragged down, and that's how lifestyle is today in America, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I actually seen what it looks like to like enjoy. I know some people like in Georgia, like they don't have that much money to be like celebrating and stuff, but it's coming from the heart, you know. Even small
Mhm.
things happen. Yeah, let's make a table. Let's go fry some meat, like drink whatever, listen music, and it's just all the families gathered together and enjoy their time, like that type of lifestyle. You don't have to be rich to be doing all that. You just have to be, I guess, enjoying life. Being You just gotta be grateful that you're on this planet. You are given another day, another opportunity to live. So why just be stressing over something that you can't control?
Yeah, exactly. And I just thought about it, like like the beats per minutes with music, like maybe even for some people, like calmer, slower music. Can lower your heart rate because maybe your heart rate, your how your heart beats, it follows that slower rhythm. So if you're in like a high intense situation, it brings it down. Again, some people in just shifting your body in a more relaxed state. will decrease the cortisol as well. And even like for in Vietnam, not everybody's like the richest, but they still prioritize like music or the gathering, food. It's like the small things in life that just makes life much better. So for some people out there, if I guess if you're feeling more negative, it's just like a small little mental change, and it could really improve your life as well. um, and another thing, I remember you did say how about the LDL and how it can accumulate based on cortisol. And again, cortisol's main job is to help the body access the energy quickly. So um, it starts off by breaking down like glycogen or your stored carbohydrates, and it can also break down fat and even muscle tissue to provide just quick fuel in stressful situations in order just to prioritize your brain functions. And from that survival standpoint, it makes sense. If you're in a stressful situation, your body wants to make sure you have enough energy to respond immediately. But again, it's designed for short term. So when this process is always happening and your body is basically in a continuous state of that energy emergency, even when you're just sitting at a desk, that's why stress can feel like physical in a way. Because sometimes people think stress is just worry, but stress can make you feel like all kinds of like body movements, like feeling shaky, restless, uh, hungry, maybe not hungry, alert or drained. And it's again your body just changing to how it uses fuel. So when I say cortisol raises your blood sugar or mobilize how you store your energy, it really just means your body's again preparing for action. And if it's not dealt in a good way, then it can lead to stuff like increased LDL. And also, there's also one of the noticeable effects is increased fat storage as well, especially around like your abdomen area. Since cortisol shifts your body into a state where it prefers more energy than using like the glucose like more efficiently, then it can break down your muscle tissue for providing energy. So you end up with a combination of like gaining more fat and losing muscle, which
Yeah.
is a very, very bad scenario just for your health. And this is where I guess some might get frustrated because um, from the outside, you could be feeling confused because someone might say, "Oh, I'm active. I'm trying, not doing anything wrong. So why might I feel like weaker or I'm storing more fat around my stomach?" And part of the answer could just be again like the chronic stress.
Yeah.
And the body, even if the body's under constant stress uh because of this, then again it's more interested in your survival than optimization,
Yeah.
how you use that energy, glucose, or whatever nutrients, you know.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, like it just shuts off your parasympathetic
Yeah,
nervous system, so it doesn't give your body ability to heal. So it's always in fight or flight, you know?
yeah. And something else that's interesting is with like the nervous system is how your stress affects, well, maybe not nervous system, it affects your decision making as well. So with high cortisol for long periods, your brain will shift to that survival mode. So instead of making actual like useful, thoughtful decisions, you start going for whatever is like easier or most immediate. So not everybody is lazy as they think they might be, but you know you have those days where everything feels harder, whether it's what you eat, how your workout is in the gym, or even focusing on like the small stuff. So again, it affects your decisions as well, and again your mood on top of your nervous system.
Hmm.
And just to finish off with the graph on the right, how it can disrupt your sleep. Like your normally your cortisol should be high in the morning and low at night, like in the graph. So when stress is high, cortisol will stay elevated even towards the evening. Um, and if you're like exhausted, then your brain won't shut off. So over time, poor sleep will increase that cortisol even more, just stacking the cycles. And it's making a cycle that's very hard to break as well. And this is one of the most relatable things or signs for people, since if you're exhausted all day, then kind of like the moment you finally get into bed, your body doesn't know how to settle down, and your brain, um, it might replay moments of the day. It might think ahead in the future. You start worrying and planning more, basically, and then you won't be able to sleep.
Yeah, even screen exposures, like
Yeah, that too.
staring at screen at night. So that's why it's important you either get blue light blocker glasses or you just gotta shut off every screen like at least 90 minutes before you go to sleep. Even like reading, let's say reading, when you start reading, that's like good thing to help you to bring that cortisol level down because it kind of chills you out and relaxes. And I started doing that like before sleep. Like
Yeah.
I read for like 30 minutes and I just fall asleep pretty easy.
Actually, yeah, me too. Like the teachers say, if you have trouble sleeping, just read the lecture.
Or start watching biochem lecture recorded videos and I'm out in like 5 minutes.
But it also cortisol also other benefits is it also reduces inflammation, which is useful. But over time, uh, cortisol that's chronically elevated will suppress the immune system. So that means you're likely to get more sorry sick. You might recover slower and have a harder time dealing with infections or like inflammation. So some of you might notice that people might get sick after like a stressful period, like they just made it through an exam or
Mm.
big work deadline, or you can have like just an intense week emotionally that can affect it too, and then they will have a crash.
Maybe
So
that what happened to me, bro. Because
what happened?
I did 3 day dry fast and I kind of got cold, but I'll be out soon,
Shut
bro.
up, bro.
This will be out in 1 or 2 days,
Yeah.
you know. And crazy fact about that like you said, it controls inflammation. It is
Mhm.
so strong at regulating immune responses that like most of the anti-inflammatory medications are based on like cortisol because
Okay.
it can actually regulate that. So that's one of the fun facts too.
Yeah, and this is again all means that stress doesn't it's not magically created. Um, doesn't magically create like an illness out of nowhere, but it can just weaken how well like the immune system responds and recover. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so here is how cortisol can affect um, other major hormones in your body. So with the first one, it's insulin. And again, I mentioned how cortisol raises your blood sugar. Your body releases insulin to manage it to kind of like counteract your cortisol. So over time, repeated cycles of this can lead to more insulin resistance. So your cells stop responding properly to insulin, and it's a major like step towards issues like pre-diabetes, type 1 or 2 diabetes, and cortisol raises your blood sugar as well. Um, by that, your body responds by releasing more of the insulin, and this is fine if it happens occasionally, but if it happens constantly, eventually, these problems will show up, and that basically sums up the insulin resistance.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is why stress and blood sugar are more connected sorry, than people think. Um, you might think insulin resistance is only about like the food you're eating, but the stress matters too because the stress changes um like how you're handling that glucose. So it's
Yeah.
not always a talk or conversation about what do you eat or um, how much sugar or carb you consume for the day. It could be what state your body is dealing with when you're holding on to that food. And another thing people don't really talk about is how stress affects those cravings, which I'm sure we'll go into more later. But usually, sugar, processed food, and things that digest fast. Again, with people making those horrible, like thoughtless decisions, they turn to that, to stuff that digests faster, and then they get frustrated with themselves because they might think this one is an issue, but um, part of it is your body literally pushing you towards certain foods when you're stressed out. That's why you have food you eat when I forgot what the term is. It's like stress food or something. I don't know. People turn to ice cream usually.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And also, like, depends if take carbohydrates for example. Like when you take carbohydrates during that time, uh, like yeah, stress eating is a term.
Yeah.
And when you eat carbohydrates, that basically it turns into glucose. That can cause your glucose levels to go up and crash, go up and crash, and cortisol also reacts to that. So best way if you want to, I don't know if Michael you're tapped into, but if you want to use carbohydrates in your diet, best way is to take it before your workout so you can maximize your workout, feel better during your workout, and basically you're not increasing that glucose in your system. Instead, your body uses that glucose for the energy and for the muscles during the workout. So best time to take carbohydrates. I don't know if this is connected to this episode, but just a tip. I guess my advice would be to take it pre-workout. Simple carbs, simple digesting carbs before pre-workout. If you want to take like short amount of period before eating and working out. So simple digesting carbs can be taken like 45 minutes before workout or maybe even 30, depends what type of carb it is. But if you eat like complex carbs, you can eat that before like an hour 30,
Hmm.
and that will maximize your performance. So yeah,
So
you can't be eating carbs like any given time because that causes your blood glucose to go up and down, go up and down, and that also messes up your cortisol levels.
how do you usually feel on your like dry fast? Because you're not allowed to have nothing before your workouts then, or do you skip the
I
workout?
don't I don't work out during dry fast.
Okay.
That would be crazy. I just walk late at night, but
Okay.
I mean that's kind of different. But when I started using like carbohydrates pre-workout, and yeah, I definitely felt like you feel way better during your workout. Like you don't have that drops in your sessions.
Yeah. And then, guys, to the right of the picture of the insulin is testosterone, and also again they have cortisol and testosterone. They have like a inverse relationship. So when cortisol is high, testosterone usually decreases, and this will affect your muscle growth, recovery, energy, and your mood as well. So if stress is constantly high, your body prioritizes your survival over your gains in the gym or your growth. So muscle building and recovery, and also your performance takes like a backseat as well. And this is especially important when talking about like recovery and performance, because people often focus only on the workout or like what protein intake they're taking. But if stress is high all the time, your body is not in a great state to recover uh, or perform at its best. So I guess even for me, usually if I'm like really stressed out, I tend to actually it works the opposite for me because I tend to go to the gym, and that
Mm,
reduces my cortisol. So I guess it works differently for everybody, but that's the way it works for me. But just in general, if you're going in there and your stress still stays up, it's probably not a good idea to hit the gym at the time, or you could just skip it and do another day.
no, actually, we'll tap into that how working out might help people to bring cortisol down.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go into next slides, or you?
Oh, and then just the last one is how it affects your uh down there down there I have your metabolism, but it's also just related to your thyroid function. Since cortisol can suppress your thyroid, it slows down your metabolism. So this would just mainly lead to
Yeah,
low energy, fatigue, and just difficulty maintaining like a healthy weight. So it's another way of your body shifting to low power mode, where your energy is being more conserved than used efficiently. So that's why people feel just sluggish all the time.
yeah,
So if people feel off or slow, unmotivated, their body's not responding the way they expect. And obviously, cortisol is not the only factor in thyroid related symptoms, but stress is absolutely affecting affecting it in a bigger picture.
yeah. Just going back at a nervous system like cortisol, like we mentioned, it shuts off parasympathetic nervous system, and your sympathetic nervous system is activated, fight or flight, and parasympathetic nervous system contains digestion. So if that is off, then automatically your metabolism will decrease, and like your body won't use that energy to heal you. Instead, it will use it to like kind of escape from that scenery.
Yeah. We can go to the next slide.
All right, so like I mentioned, like frontal lobe plays a big part about your stress and like how you react to some sort of stuff, and it depends on individual how developed your frontal lobe is, and also like I don't know how functional it is, because the more the functional it is, like more people can control their stress levels, and like depends on situations they can stress out less, like react less and all that. And we mentioned like some people might just start freaking out. So the solutions that you can start like adding into your lifestyle, so you can see like I don't know, kind of to bring your stress level down, I guess. And solutions that we have here is pattern interruption, brain stimulation, nutrients, and lifestyle changes, which can affect hormones and neurotransmitters. So what do I mean by pattern in interruption? So it's like it's basically interrupting stress in real time. Like when your body is into like a stress response, it doesn't need logic. Like it needs a signal that tells it to you can relax, like you can chill. Like let's take for example, take like breathing techniques, you can take meditation, you can take yoga, even appreciating like small things, celebrating small things, like we mentioned. Like these are not like small habits. This just shifts you from that stress and like kind of tense up situation to enjoying that moment, or relaxing. Like you letting your like should you're letting your body to shift from sympathetic mode into parasympathetic mode, and you start to like rest and recovery. And like slow breathing, like breathing, for example, slow breathing, like taking a deep breath and slowing out, I mean, breathing out slow, that helps to tap into parasympathetic ways, because it's kind of signal. It's a signal that lets your parasympathetic nervous system know that, yeah, you can relax now. It's safe now, basically. And it might sound like a, I don't know, kind of wrong when you say like it sends a signal that you're safe now. But to remind you guys, this is evolution. This is what we have. Like, you can't get rid of it, because I mean, we're getting chased by animals, so it, I guess, for however long it was, it just stays in our nervous system and kind of is there. So we have to adapt to that and learn how to balance it. Brain stimulation. Next we have. So brain stimulation is like a, I guess it sounds random, but like we mentioned, reading, being around people you enjoy and gives you great times, like hobbies, laughing at it. I don't know, some random thing. Even throughout the day, like you can start thinking about like moments that make you happy, and you will just start to know that you get that smile, or maybe even laugh out loud randomly. Like, that's what it is. You have to start enjoying and appreciating that you you're on this planet. You get another day to live a life. So it's like this sends a signal that it's you're into like positive mode, like you're engaging into something and you're just not stressed out. Like, imagine, um like, it's always interrupted by like, not interrupted by, I mean, under stress, like deadlines we mentioned, overstimulation. You get notifications on the phone like every three, I don't know, people just every 5 seconds they look at their screen to check notifications, and they're just focusing on that. And that can also like raise your stress levels. Like, first of all, why are you so tapped into your notifications? You feel me?
Yeah.
And like when you do like stuff like reading, social interactions, or even laughing, like it just shifts, like we mentioned, from your parasympathetic nervous system to, I mean, from sympathetic nervous system into your parasympathetic nervous system. So like you go from survival instinct into connection and like curiosity. And this is what helps to change that neurotransmitters that I have over there. It's like it starts to, start to produce dopamine and serotonin, which then indirectly regulate the cortisol levels. So it's not like just having fun anymore. It's like you changing your brain process and you change your hormonal outputs. Then we have nutrients. By nutrients, I mean, you can take stuff that can help to like kind of calm down your brain, and this can be like stuff that can regulate your blood glucose, vitamins. We'll have an upcoming slide. Minerals, DHA. We talked about on previous podcasts. DHA is oil that you can get from fish, and it's very good for your brain. And it kind of heals brain and like calms down at the same time. And if you have that unregulated blood glucose, like your body always just releases uh cortisol to bring it back up. Like, moment your blood glucose drops, like cortisol again, it's like signals sense that sends your body that it needs more energy. So you'll just increase your blood sugar through gluconeogenesis, which we discussed during our liver episode. Gluconeogenesis, basically turning
Yeah.
your pyruvate into glucose. And so if your diet is like constantly causing the spikes up and downs, like we talked about previous slides, it just crashes. Like, your body is forced to release cortisol over and over again just to stabilize you. So having that stable nutrition matters a lot. And maybe it's like some people might call it dieting, but it's not dieting. It's just you kind of remove unnecessary stress and its signals. Like
Mhm.
if you start controlling yourself to not take carbs like any given time and start actually paying attention to what's good for your body, then it will just get much easier for you to control all these habits. Because I know it can be hard because it's like habit that you have built up over the years, and I'm here asking you to change that. But like over the time period, like you will like the more you learn, the easier it gets. Because I was in that position, and once I'm starting learning more, like stuff gets much easier, and you actually like start to care about your body, and you will learn how much damage your body takes from this, I don't know, from this environment that we live in today.
Yeah.
And
Also, when just want to put in real quick,
yeah,
like if your body's already like stressed, you're more sensitive to like the food fluctuation that you're eating. So that's why you might feel more tired or irritated, even, um, or even dependent on things like caffeine too. So nutrition is like something people overlook.
yeah. And like lifestyle changes can be like intermittent fasting, sleeping, exercise, and even relationships that you have with people and who you spend time around with, you know? Because like we mentioned, sleep is like one of the strongest regulators of cortisol rhythm, because all this circadian rhythm, if you don't sleep properly, like your cortisol pattern basically gets flipped. Like when it's supposed to be high, it's low. When it's supposed to be low, it's high. So that's why sleep matters. Exercise is similar. It temporarily raises your cortisol during exercise, but if it's like controlled in a way, then your body adapts to, like, kind of gains the ability to be able to handle the stress of working out. And then we know that working out and lifting weights and whatever can be beneficial for other stuff too. Even like having pets or maybe social connections matters because it makes you happy. Like you're,
Yeah.
again, pattern interruption, you interrupting that pattern of stress, and you forcing your body to relax and chill, which sends you to recovery mode.
Yeah, just changing up your lifestyle. You're not changing one thing. You're affecting like a whole environment. So that exercise affects cortisol, but also like your dopamine, your serotonin, and your overall mood.
Yeah. And I guess we can go to next slide. So we mentioned solutions, and now we have here what can be used as solutions. So aerobic exercises, we know that exercising is one of the best things you can do for yourself and for your body. We, like Michael mentioned, like he is able to take that stress, go to the gym, and it kind of relaxes you. Because like in the gym, you taking yourself from that stressful environment and putting yourself in a gym where people are able to kind of separate themselves from outside world and just focus on themselves and whatever it is, lifting weights, walking, or doing like zone 2 exercises, let's say.
Hmm.
um we also have hit, which, if you don't know, it's like high intensity interval training. But this, with this, you have to be careful. Like you have to already kind of have experience with aerobic exercise and working out, because this can increase cortisol way high if it's done wrong. So one of the doctors I was listening to, best way to do hits is to take like a to do 15-second intervals. Like that's like you take only 15 seconds to do whatever exercise in it is, and you just take a rest.
Yeah.
What you know, you don't
So
overdo it.
balancing it with like recovery.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if you overdo it in high intensity exercise, then you might also start producing more cortisol. So I would not advise to do hits if you're not exercise with like workout, and like you never worked out in your life and don't know how to like because don't know how to reach your max heart rate and don't know when you're reaching your max heart rate and what's your limits. So that's why I'm saying you have to at least have background experience. Recovery goes back with aerobic exercises because once you exercise, like without recovery, your body will produce more cortisol because like overtraining is a thing. Like we talked about this a lot. You cannot overtrace or overtrain yourself. Like recovery is as important and as it is exercise. So you have to make sure you give your body and yourself time to recover from it, and that will help to bring cortisol level down because if you overtrain, you just basically releasing cortisol over and over again.
Yeah.
Yoga, yoga, like old school yoga, because I know like modern yoga is like containing more like high intensity. Uh, I don't know why is it movements? They call it movements, and old style it's like soft movements. You control your breathing. You kind of mind to body control better, and you kind of control your system, so it's much easier to relax during yoga. That's why a lot of people do yoga, and one day I might test it out and see. Michael Lear might put us on, is
Mm-hmm.
a yoga instructor. Breathing methods, like I said, I mean there are a lot of breathing methods that might help you, and for now I'm not certified to give you like crazy advice, but that's definitely coming in. Definitely will get that breathing certification, and I'll guys provide with breathing. I'll guys provide you breathing techniques that you might use. But best one, and I mean, regular one that you can use is just take a deep breath and breathe out longer. Like when you breathe out, like you breathe out slow and longer, and that sends a signal that you can relax. You're not in stressful situation. Meditation and mindfulness. I mean, that kind of goes together. But meditation, like when you meditate, it's kind of you listening to your mind and your body. You basically getting what I don't know. Once you start meditating, you will feel it. Like you will start feeling your emotions from inside, like what's wrong and what's not, and your mind actually becomes more clear. And when you meditate, you activate that frontal lobe that I was talking about. So that also helps to like kind of gain over an ability to be able to control your stress levels. Mindfulness, like you have to be mindful about your daily life. Like once you start being mindful and start paying attention, a lot of people don't pay attention to their like actions or what they do throughout the day. But once you start being mindful, you will notice like what makes me stressful, what makes you happy, and you'll be able to slowly eliminate that stuff that is unnecessary in your lifestyle but makes you stress, and once you start eliminating that, that means that stress for you lower cortisol for you,
Mm-hmm.
celebrate celebrate and appreciate. I guess these two can go together as well, like we mentioned. Like depends on our culture, and that depends on the culture. Like it has to be a thing. Even small thing, you get a good grade on the exam. Go ahead and do something. Say,
Yeah.
yeah, this is my gift for myself. You have to start celebrating small things. Like enjoy whatever you achieve, and it will bring you out from that stressful environment. Like you don't have to be with someone or wait for someone to do that. You can just go ahead and get yourself a nice dinner or something, or maybe
Yeah.
a lunch. Like appreciate yourself, like celebrate something and show gratitude, I guess, and that can interrupt that pattern of stress. Appreciate. My advice would be appreciate every single day. Like wake up being grateful that you were able to open your eyes
Mm-hmm.
today, and that will, like, once you become more grateful for life, like you will start enjoying it more, I guess. And it's all about the mindset. You have to just rewrite that mindset.
And
Reading, like
some of you guys, you might underestimate this like this part just because it doesn't feel like sciencey, but
yeah,
your
yeah,
mood, environment, the people you're with will all affect you. So
yeah,
just being in a constantly like negative environment will your body stays in a different state
Mhm.
compared to like if you're relaxed, laughing, or enjoying something.
Yeah, no, you will just stay at low frequency, like, you won't be able to get out of it.
Hmm.
Like, you might try to get out of it, but you won't be able to unless you cut those environment off.
Yeah.
Next one, we have breathing. Like I said, breathing just, calms your mind down and, I don't know, like, kinda activates your brain in a good way. Reading has a lot of benefits if you're a student. I don't know, it kinda expands your memory, I heard, and if you read before sleep, a lot of people who actually have, I don't know, kinda taking care of themselves, I know they read before they go to sleep, and I started trying it now, and I don't know, it helps from my experience, so you guys gotta test it out to see if it works. That's next one, we have positive people. Being around positive people, like we mentioned, like, if you're with people who you enjoying or, like, spending time with, like, you will automatically, uh, again, you taking yourself from that stressful situation into something that you enjoy, like, you're happy, they make you laugh, they make you smile, you know? And that's all it's about. Like, you have to start enjoying these moments and other people's presence. But it has to be positive. It has to have positive effect on you. Like, if you notice that you're kind of random in there and you're not, like, kind of engaged with the group of people, like, you have to just get out of there, you know? Find people who actually enjoy you being there and you spending their time and they appreciate you and you will appreciate them more. Next, we have essential oils. Mm, like, a lot of people, essential oils can be taken as, also incense, let's say, because smell. Like, by essential oils, it means smell because smell is one of the main sensation factors of our body. And once you, like, smell something different, if you notice, like, your body and your mind just completely shifts into that scent, and you kind of focus on that, and that's what it is. Pattern interruption. Again, one of the great ways to interrupt. Excuse me, interrupt that pattern. Smell is a great way. Herbs, it can be like, ashwagandha and, like, other herbs that you can take. But ashwagandha has to be, if you're a male and you want to take ashwagandha, it has to be taken after workout because if you take before workout, it interacts with some of the systems in your body and it might actually not be good for your muscle growth. So it has to be taken.
Didn't know that because
Yeah.
back in high school when everybody was popping ashwagandha, they just popped it whenever, bro.
So, yeah, so it has to be taken after workout. Andrew Huberman mentioned that. Smile and laugh again. Like, you randomly throughout the day, you'll just think about positive memories. Just smile about it, laugh about it. Like, should not be hard. I mean, again, we live in a world where you smile about something or you laugh about something, and you're looked as a weirdo. Like, that's crazy, you know. And I think we have to go against that agenda and smile more, laugh more,
Hmm.
crack some dad jokes.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
Michael Lear, he mentioned how kids are happier than adults because they're always just laughing more. They got,
Yeah.
of course, they don't got like as much stress going on, but they're just quality of life is a lot better just
Mhm.
through laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, if you're stressed out about something, like, you got bills to pay, okay, right? Like, everyone got bills to pay, but you're if you're constantly just if that's constantly in your mind and you just whole day you're thinking that, yeah, my deadline's coming up, like, you're just stressing over like, stressing yourself out like crazy. And there are sometimes, like, I mean, that's like priority of the life, I guess, that you have to pay bills. But if it's something you can't do nothing about it, like, there is no point, like, stressing yourself out. That's how I started looking at things. Like, if something is not under my control, I just don't stress about it. I mean, It's in my mind, obviously, but I know people sit down and start rubbing their head and
Yeah.
like just overstress themselves, and that stress will build up, build up, build up, and your body will just start failing. Sleep, again, one of the strongest regulators of cortisol, and sleep is important because during sleep, like you see there, it produces growth hormone, which is important for males and I guess females too, but depends on what your goal is. But growth hormone is one of the important hormones in our body. Next, we have intermittent fasting. Also, intermittent fasting can produce growth hormone, but it depends on like instead of mm, let's say having a 3 meals a day, you can cut it to two. That's that's what I started doing. Like take out your breakfast because, in my opinion, breakfast is a CIA propaganda, and nobody can out teach me that because there was a literal study like they came up with all the cereal and all that. Like imagine you wake up and within first 30 minutes, instead of getting light in your eyes, you pump your body with like 50 grams of sugar.
Hmm.
Diabolical. Stable blood glucose. Again, this can go with intermittent fat. I mean, you can go with your diet because stable blood glucose means, again, going back to carbs. Like eating carbs is what causes the major blood glucose like increase and decrease, like crashes. And that's why it's important to learn like what time you should be having what. And again, my advice about carbohydrates, and a lot of people are getting on it and actually realize the science behind carbohydrates. It is best to take before your pre-workout. Like people cut out their carbohydrates out completely. That is completely wrong because carbohydrates can be useful if you work out and want to see like development with your body.
And you really need it for your brain as well too.
Yep, because it's glucose.
Yeah.
Again, we have vitamin D3 and vitamin B. Vitamin B, I think vitamin B and 1 and 5. But best way to get these vitamins is through natural sources, like taking capsules and stuff like that might not be, it might be beneficial, but for long term it's not beneficial because it's way better to get all these vitamins and again minerals right here. You can drop that too, like calcium, potassium, magnesium. It is best to get from your food sources. You know, you have to always try to hit your goals with food and natural sources. We have DHA coming up. DHA again, we talked about this. I'm pretty sure when we're doing podcasts with Sahan, Joshan, and like everyone. One of the fish oils, it is very good for our brain because it can heal brain. It can pass through the blood and brain kind of, because everything doesn't pass through the tissue of the brain, but DHA does it. And it's very beneficial for brain. Adrenal points. This is I don't know if Dr. Denny will agree to it, but I mean the science says if you take a point from your belly button 1 inch out, like belly, belly button right here, you go
Hmm.
like 1 inch out and either 1 or 2 inch up, and you kind of start massaging it. And then after you massage it for a couple seconds, like you will start feeling pulse and you can actually hold it. And the longer you hold it, like you will realize, like I feel pulse getting higher and higher.
Yeah, I
And
feel
that
it, bro.
and that also like there are points that can just regulate your adrenal glands. Pets Pets is also one of the great ways to start enjoying your life because if you like working whole day, you have something to look forward to when you get home. And pets actually make your life better. Like and I know a lot of people they live very stressful life, but like pet is what they live for, you know? Like there are a lot of movies made too about that.
Yeah. And
Like
nothing makes you
person
happier than coming home from
yeah,
work to a organism waiting for you to come home. One
yeah.
of the happiest things.
And like a lot of movies are made about it too. Like people going through all these struggles and like they ready to give up and they hear their dog barking and they say, "Yeah, I got another reason to live for." And they might, they be here to cut their ready to cut their reins and they just stop to just go out with their dog.
Yeah.
And pets are, I don't know, very stress gives you stress free life. I mean, you have to walk them, but you can use that walk for your benefit. Walking is
Mhm.
very good thing to do with your body and great way to regulate your body too. Gets you using up energy, also helps you burn fat, all that. So pets just, I don't know, for some people might say it just gives meaning to your life if you're living that stressful life. And a hobby, find a hobby that you can enjoy. Like it just, again, pattern interruption. You just interrupting that stressful lifestyle that you live. Like you can just get up, go and do your hobby. A lot of people might play sports, like might read books. A lot of hobby. What you got for hobby? Workout? I guess working out can also count as hobby or lifestyle.
And I remember Joe Rogan saying, like, people out there, if you have like a boring life, no hobby, or like a loveless marriage, or you work in a cubicle all day, you you come home and you're just more stressed and just depressed. It's your brain responding to a boring stimulus. So it's better go out there, find hobbies you actually like doing, whether it's like reading a book or you can write a book too. Having great friends to hang out with, stuff you enjoy, or like even like he was mentioning a lot of martial arts, so
Yeah,
it was like full edit of just Conor McGregor. But just stuff you enjoy will help you improve
yeah.
your quality of life.
That's the point of whole this whole solution. It just
Mhm.
makes your life more enjoyable. You have to make your life more enjoyable, I guess, and I start appreciating it because like once you and start enjoying your life more, I guess you will start becoming grateful for even small things and that will help you to go through that stress and take your mind off that stress. Because
Yeah,
again, we live in a world, like I understand, like there is not a single person, including me, that live stress-free life unless you're like billionaire or you made it
yeah,
in life, or you inherited some generational wealth. So that's it. Like you have to adapt your lifestyle around that. You have to, again, once you start being mindful about your lifestyle and you start learning more things about you, like you will realize what's better for you, and like you will put yourself in a situations which will help you to like improve your life and make it more enjoyable.
and also for the audience out there, this is of course a very long list of 24 things, but I'd probably argue that number 15, sleep, is probably the most important thing on this list, since it affects everything like cortisol, energy, mood, and recovery, and even your hormones like
Yep,
growth hormones. So I guess for me at least, I don't know if you agree, but instead of trying to fix everything at once, improving your sleep alone can make a huge difference.
definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Well, I guess that was it. If you don't have anything to add, and
That's it. Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I don't know, I think we covered pretty good stuff about cortisol and gave you pretty good solutions.
I think we
So if
could.
you guys, yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you follow us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. And if you guys want us to talk about a specific topic, you can leave a comment or even send out a message, and we will definitely try to make episodes about that. And Well, hope you have a great weekend and make sure you go out with friends that enjoy being with you, and make sure you crack some dad jokes so you can laugh, and smile about small stuff. So
And get your
that's it.
sleeping, guys. Yep.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next Friday.